Alrighty, so let's get started. I'm gonna review this Dorado map from Chengdu versus Shanghai. I'll use the volume. And this map was interesting because they played a couple comps, like they played some Winston comps, played some ball comps, but it's always an interesting matchup to review just because normally like this comp just loses against this comp. Like I'm sure Shanghai know this. Like I'm sure. Like Shanghai, they've been countering like Winston comps with ball comps in season four. The reason why ball counters Winston like so hard is because this comp needs space like on the flanks to operate. You can't just have your Winston and Tracer like literally running it down. You can, but it's not going to be effective. But like, guess which comp like just takes away that space? This comp. The Zen prevents the Winston from doing a lot, and Ball Tracer just stopped the backline and also like the flankers as well from moving wherever they want. And when you deny that from the Winston team, their only hope is to just build ults and win. But in Overwatch 2, that isn't effective because ults take so long to build. So like I think this comp eventually, like we'll see in the meta, will just win against this comp. It's just that teams don't really have good ball players. Like Gaga's like really experienced on the ball. Fate, of course, is always really good ball. Like probably like top two, but like most teams, like they just have Winston players, Ryan players, and ball is a pretty like brutal hero to learn. But like if you can play ball correctly, and I'm not saying just you can mechanically play ball correctly, but like if you can really use your positioning to influence the game, then you're gonna be like so effective. But if you don't have that skill, even if you have good mechanics, you're just gonna feed. So like good balls, they might not be mechanically the best, but like their positioning and like their decisions to rotate around the map are just immaculate. And we'll see an example of this because I did watch this map and I was impressed by like some of these plays by the balls. All right, okay, enough talking. So right here, Chengdu versus Shanghai. Let's start, and Lip is going to play the Ash, while Chengdu are going to play standard ball comp. There is no Sombra. Like Sombra, like once she has kind of lost her like. I mean the hack's still fine, but Overwatch One hack was just so good. It just like threatened like space like so well. But like Overwatch 2, it's just 40% extra damage, which is nice, but you're not always going to be able to follow up on it. So like it just provides less consistent value compared to Overwatch 1 hack. But like we also see like Shanghai, they're running the Ash as well. And the Ash is actually pretty good in dive. I'd say Ash is probably the ideal hit scan for dive, just because Ash does a lot of burst, unlike something like Soldier, which is good, or Sojourn. And like Sojourn might be better like right now, even though APAC does prefer Ash. But like in general, burst damage, like obviously, it's just so good for dive because if you burst someone down to 1 HP, that immediately opens an opportunity for your team to follow up that you might not get with a hit scan that's just a bit more consistent damage. Lip just needs a headshot one person, and we just engage on them and they're dead. Compared to something like Soldier, where like even if you're tagged a bit, like they can still get heals, they can still like get like peeled for, and the engage might not work. So that's why you see a lot of Ashen dive, like a lot. That's why you also see a lot of Zen in dive, aside from the fact that Zen, Discord, and Harmony is just perfect for what dive wants to do, like in controlling spaces. But Ash is one of those heroes that people say, "Oh shit, not a dive hero," but really, like Ash belongs in a dive comp. Like she's not really mobile, but she belongs in a dive comp. But like, enough of the talking about the picks. We see like a standard setup from Chengdu. Like Jinmu's on the cart trying to stall, like which is fine. But like Jinmu, if he doesn't play around here, like in general, then Fleta's just gonna like find a hole to like get into Chengdu's backline. And when you're playing like Tracer in the ball comp without an off tank, obviously, you actually don't want to be like as aggressive because your team kind of needs you to hold these like spaces to stall fights so that your Zen and your Ash can do damage. So like, if Jinmu doesn't return back to this position when needed, I mean like maybe the cart will just push to here, in which case it doesn't even matter. But still, like if Jinmu doesn't position like along this flank, even when the cart's over here, like this is the flank that Fleta will use, regardless of where the card is, to like kind of get through, or maybe here, but this is like a lot harder. Like this just you can drop to like this mini and like eventually flank to the back line. So like this flank is really important to hold. But like if Jinmu isn't careful, then Fleta's going to be able to get into the back line somehow, and then Fate can just finish the fight. So Jinmu has to be really careful. That being said, it's still gonna be really hard for the Winston team. How do they like close the distance? They can either run it down main and get poked out, or they could try like take this like area of the map, but no diva. First of all, even though if there was a diva, both divas would be holding, and the Zen team would win just because the diva can receive harmony and discord. But like no diva, like it's just gonna make it like even worse for Fate if he wants to like go here to use this as a launching pad. So this is and Gaga wants to be holding this position as long as possible until like there's actually an opportunity to push. If Gaga like just tries to like drop, slam, and feed, this gives Fate an opening to jump here, and then eventually the backline's next. So like Chengdu have to be really disciplined in covering the spaces. Otherwise, and this is like the main theme in this game, Shanghai are looking for like spaces to exploit, to rotate into, to get into the backline. That's basically what they're gonna do. Like they could farm ults and try to like just force a fight, but that's really hard to Overwatch 2, as I said. So right here, we're actually gonna see Shanghai. So Fate actually uses this as like actually uses this high ground to try to like get better backline access. And this is a bit interesting. Let's look at what Chengdu are doing more closely. So like Fate gets Discord and he has to pop his bubble here. That's like a lot of cooldowns. Like I mean this is fine just because like he's just trying to kind of like engage on the high ground a bit just so the card can push up to this choke. But we're gonna see how Shanghai look to really penetrate these spaces that Chengdu are looking to cover. And we're gonna look at what Gaga's doing. Gaga's trying to peel off Fate here. I mean, it's fine. Like if Fate already committed his bubble and jumped to here, then like he can't really use this space. It's not like anyone else can use this space, not even Chengdu. But on the other hand, okay, I'm not sure what Gaga's doing here. Gaga should be ideally aggressively fighting Fate here. Maybe Gaga just failed like this rollout. I mean, not this rollout, like this grapple. Like Gaga should be like literally on here and shooting Fate, and you force him out. And like once you force him out, this gives your backline like 10, 15 more seconds to poke before like Fate can do another bubble engage, and that's big. But if he stays here for too long, then I mean like this is just like again, they just want to push the cart, but they get forced out. I'm surprised Lip is taking such an aggressive a duel here, like without trying to look for a first peak. Because like if you're playing like with this comp, it's just really hard as a hit scan unless like your Winston Tracer is actually fighting. Like they're jumping out, and I think Flood is here. So like he's gonna get poked out by Zen, poked out by he's doing a good job doing the sight lines, but leaves on high ground and has like Nisha support while Li Jiangang's like literally like fighting on the cart. So like this is a duel that he'll probably lose. So he has to be like pretty careful. And so he's jumping up here to try like unlock the space for Fate, I think. Um and like this is like a pretty annoying angle. But so and like eventually, you know, he does force out Gaga. But like I'm really interested. I'm really interested to see like why Monk like didn't get much done here. Because okay, like Shanghai are doing a good job playing cover, but it doesn't seem like Monk has had a lot of opportunities to poke this. Like for example, right here, I think Chengdu could fight this. Could like look to at least fight this, but oh Jinmu. Let's look at where Jinmu is. Oh Jinmu like just takes a load of damage. Okay, let's see how Jinmu started this fight. Jinmu started this fight dropping on cart, gets like a couple packs. Now like he's trying to reset his positioning, but oh he tries to go for Fate. Like this blink recall is just sloppy. But like if Jinmu was in position, I think definitely they could have just they could have just went for Li Zhanggan. So so like by being too aggressive instead of just holding that space, like Chengdu just lose their opportunity to like contest cart, push that advantage, and try to like win the fight. Like right there, like they're still alive, which is good, but like you know they gave up the first corner. That being said, it's like teams like they would prefer to just hold the choke instead of even this high ground, just because this choke is just so hard to break. So so we see so like Fleta is like on this angle, and they are not close to alt. And like Gaga's in the right position here. Gaga's just trying to hold over here, which means that it prevents movement from like these two directions. If is Yaki and Li Jiang gone, they want to move up. Well, Gaga's there to try to like disrupt that. If if Fate wants to like walk up, or Fleta wants to walk up, then like you know, Gaga can do a bit of damage. And indeed, Fate decides to go for an engage. You kind of have to engage, to be honest, just because you can't just like sit back. But on the other hand, like look at this positioning; it's just so oppressive. It's like Fate just takes so much damage. But like Fate's like so low here. Wait a minute. Like this is really sloppy from Fate, to be honest. Like on the other hand, like Gaga doesn't have to do this. Gaga can just like go into crab form and shoot Fate. And like, where's like the commitment? Like this comp's like kind of a fly swatter, like on defense. If someone intrudes your space, you just focus the fuck out of them. And I know I made a video about like how target like focus like doesn't matter, but it's not really even a target focus problem. I'm sure they are calling that Fate's low, but it's just like what are they prioritizing? Are they prioritizing like shooting the low HP target like in their space, or are they prioritizing just fucking around in Shanghai's backline where they're not even a threat? I mean, they probably aren't, but I don't know where Jinmu is. I think Jinmu's just fucking around, honestly. But like, where's the commitment? 30 HP, 30 HP. If Jinmu just like shoots, like shoots Fate, 30 HP. At least Li Zhengan dies, and like this is, and Li Zhengan's like kind of also feeding here, as usual. But you see, like this is why the Ashe is really good. Gets a burst of damage on the Li Zhengan, boom. And right here, on the other hand, there is something like concerning for the next fight, like for Chengdu. Fletta's like behind. And they're gonna try to like force out Fleta, but and indeed, they force out Fleta. So good job, good job. And like they're committing multiple players. Like I'm not a big fan of what Gaga's doing here. They're trying like Gaga's. I know what Gaga's trying to do here. He's trying to draw aggro from like these three, so that they can't support Fleta or look to trade. Like when I say trade, I mean like they're all focusing Fleta. Well, we're just gonna like try to get some free shots onto the back line. Well, like I think like God could have done a better job just playing here, and lost less HP and risk his life less. It is a reasonable attempt, but this is like unnecessary aggression. I mean it. I mean, like ultimately, it was a okay play just because like he didn't die there. But imagine if like a sleep hit or something, for example. Okay, and right here, Shanghai. I mean, Shanghai should just probably back up. It's good, Chengdu are pushing the advantage. They don't want to overpush. Fine. Hey, so far, it's actually looking fine for Chengdu. Like they got the cart like near the choke. They're controlling like this space. They're like doing like a standard setup here. Even though they will probably back up because the cart's over here. Um, and let's look what the rotation Shanghai's making. Oh, Shanghai's actually rotating under, like which is smart. And like Chengdu, they're actually making the decision to take the fight here. Like they have rally, but Shanghai do have the nano. I mean, this is gonna be like pretty rough for Chengdu probably, but I mean Shanghai. I mean both teams. It looks like kind of rough. Like Shanghai are just so close, while like Chengdu will have high ground control here, and this is not some high ground to scoff at. This is like really hard to like climb up, but oh shit, this is a mistake. I think. So right here, Shanghai are trying to split attention on the cart. They have Brig Tracer, but like on the other hand, I don't think this is like a like the biggest threat you have to worry about. Like the cart's still gonna have like some distance to push, and like the more and like sure like Shanghai could try to like do like some sneaky shenanigans. Like they could just hide under here, while like these two push cart and try to like bait Gaga into there. But mm, okay, now they're engaging. But like I think like Gaga should have tried to like stay at least. And like sure, like they're trying to like kind of split attention on the card. Like they're trying to be really really sneaky and stuff. And I think if Shanghai like they saw Gaga just hold this position here, then I think they would have like just tried to have these two push card and try like bait Chengdu into sending Gaga to contest. Like that could be a possibility. But like even if they do get the cart to like some advanced position, like they probably like want to like look to back up. But like if they're just here and like they're extending too far, then it's so easy for ball tracer to bully on cart while Chengdu like rotate their backline behind. And like this means that this split push is just kind of limp